What's going on, guys? My name's Amir and I am someone who owns two businesses, and today I want to start a video series on what it was like hiring my first employee. This first video is just going to kind of be about the thought process and the mental state you have to be in before you go and actually hire an employee. If you're someone like me, I never was good at delegation. I actually, for the last 4 years, have done everything in my business by myself with the occasional help from random marketers and advertisers. I basically never learned the skill of hiring and delegation, and I always put it off because I'd always be worried about someone stealing from me, someone taking my business, or just the whole idea of having to work with someone else. I really didn't like. I just got too comfortable working by myself, and I basically started another business, and it allowed me to realize how much I was doing my first business wrong, because if I wasn't here, money wasn't being made. And that just means I have a high paying job. It doesn't mean I actually own a business. Because if I don't, a business is supposed to be like a machine that generates money without you having to do much to it. If anything, very minimal work, right? To be what I call a successful business. Something that profits without that much work that you have to put into it. Because in reality, someone like me, I want to own multiple businesses. I want to be able to run multiple businesses. And I can't run multiple businesses if I'm working a whole 40, 50-hour shift in my store as a salesman / tech. And a lot of people, they get stuck in that technician role, the manager role, and the owner-operator, role. And if you want to break that, I guess the book that you should, read that broke that barrier for me was E-Myth. It gave me a whole new perspective on what it's like to grow a business and what it actually means to grow a business. For the last 4 years, I didn't have the idea down that what my goal here all along was supposed to be is get and hire employees as fast as I can, as soon as I can afford one. That way I can just keep growing without having to put in as many hours actually doing the technical work, like, selling and doing the phone repairs and fixing the, phones that we're going to flip. Like, all that stuff I shouldn't have been doing. Because if I wasn't doing it, I'd be able to spend more time on growing the business. And not only that, I can spend more time on opening another business, because if I was working 60 hours a week here, I hire one employee, that took 30 hours worth of work from me a week. I now only work 30 hours a week. And someone like me, I'm always gonna work 60 hours a week. It's just, I love work, so I'm cool with it. Now, I just spent 30 hours, I paid somebody 30 hours, right? They took 30 hours off my plate, and that's only if you do it right, because some people will hire somebody to take 30 hours off your plate, and now you're just doing double the work because you don't know how to delegate to them. But anyways, I'm now able to spend another 30 hours a week on another business that I can grow and water, and hopefully 2 to 3 years from now, I have an employee where I'm now back to only working 30 hours a week between both businesses. And I just took on another employee at the shop. He should give me at least another 15 hours back. So now I'm back to only working 45 hours a week if everything is done correctly. Now I need to get to that point. I'm not at that point yet, and that's where the training and all that stuff, and I'll make other videos about that on, the things I learned training the things I learned training an employee. Like, that's a whole beast in itself. Hiring is a whole nother video. But again, I'll make this a series today. I just wanted to basically, break down the mindset that you should have with hiring an employee, because I did see a video on this on YouTube when I was seeking help. And, a lot of people alone just don't, have the exposure around them to people that own businesses, especially successful business owners. If you've ever met a successful business owner, he is not the technician in his shop. Like, that's the biggest thing. This successful business owner is also not the driver at their dumpster rental company. Like, it's one of those things where the owner should just be the owner, the one that's putting all the puzzle pieces together in the background. And all the technical work should be done by employees. And that's what I define as a successful business, one that profits without the owner having to be the actual driver. Now, don't get me wrong, it's really cool to profit while being able to put the work in. And you have to start somewhere. Someone like me who's not starting with a lot of money, I don't have thousands of dollars to invest in an employee before I'm making any money. No, I need to spend the time driving, learn everything, pay the business back to buy more dumpsters. And then when I get to 20, 30 dumpsters, I'll hire a full-time driver. It wouldn't matter to me because it's covered under the revenue that we're, already having. You can't just buy 20 dumpsters tomorrow, hire an employee, and expect to sell all of them. It just doesn't make sense. So, going back to it, I don't know enough yet. I'm still new. I feel like I still have a lot to learn. But the biggest thing and the biggest barrier I broke this year as a business owner is the fact that in order to grow, in order to be a serial business owner or a serial entrepreneur, I need to hire and get good at hiring employees and train them to do everything that I do to replace me from having to be the technical person in my business. And for now, I'm going to leave it at that. My next videos, I'll cover how it was to find someone, how it was to train someone, how it was to maintain someone, what repercussions you have to, you have from hiring somebody, and the setbacks, so it's one of those things where there's a lot of videos, and I think it's going to be a great series. So if you stick around, you should get a lot of good value.